Hey, good morning. This is Trevor of NomadicBackpacker.com. Updating you on the situation here. I'm back in Mexico City with Miss CDMX. Things aren't exactly as we had planned. So I arrived here last Friday morning, and Tuesday I went to to see a specialist at one of the local hospitals here. Specialist is a urologist, and I am now carrying around a little friend with me called P. Yeah, it's a catheter. Um, Basically, my prostate is 3 times as big as it should be. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the prostate should be about the size of a walnut, which is whatever that size is, and the urethra passes through it, okay, and takes the bladder out. So everything gets processed into your bladder, and then the urethra goes through the prostate and out, okay? And the prostate is enlarged, so it expands. But if you imagine like a donut, okay, you've got the hole in the donut, and the urethra goes through that. Okay, so when it's enlarging, it doesn't exactly always expand outwards. It's expanding inwards because there's a hole in the middle. And that is clamping the urethra, which reduces and stops the flow of urine. So this problem I'm well aware of, since that's what caused the complications with my father during the COVID. So I noticed problems to pee in the morning about February 2021. But it was like never always there. It was only in the morning, never in the afternoon, sometimes not. Sometimes I was peeing like normal, sometimes just a trickle, or you just go, you want to go. The feeling is you want to go, but you can't. So imagine you need to go to the bathroom, okay, and you're on a bus and you can't find a toilet anywhere, and you're holding it. That's the pain you have in your bladder when you want to go, but you can't go. Okay. So over the years it will come and go, and I'm relating it to the consummation of soft drinks like Coca-Cola or apple juice, anything with sugar in it, artificial stuff, all these Coca-Colas, the diet cola with more chemicals than are really, really, really good for you. So I seemed like I was controlling the ability to pee by reducing rubbish. Okay, the prostate is aggravated. The size of the prostate is enlarged by processed food, alcohol, coffee, basically, and soft drinks. Yes, I drink coffee, but I'm not like drinking 20 cups a day. I drink two or 3 cups a day. Beer, I don't drink a bottle of vodka every day. I'm drinking 2 or 3 beers a day, or was. Processed foods, almost not. No fast foods, no McDonald's. That's been the pattern of my life. So I can't say I'm a big abuser of these junk foods that aggravate the size of the prostate. And just got to take a pause here. So the issues really here in Mexico City began, okay, over the weekend of my arrival. I was dying to make pee-pee in the morning, yet couldn't. I was peeing out like, the size of a thimble, really minuscule, and you need to go. And the bladder was hard, and it was hurting, and then I was thinking possibly it's like kidney stones because it was burning, and trying to sit there on the toilet and relax the bladder so it would come out naturally. It's not an easy process to do that. So I'd already said to myself, if things got to a stage where it was, like that, I would go to the doctors. Okay, so Maru, Miss CDMX, she found a urologist here in Mexico City, wasn't too far away, spoke English, and I went up there and explained the situation exactly I did to you. And yeah, he's obviously a specialist, he knows all the story. He says, yeah, you got an infection, which is because of the PPs in the bladder for a long time. It creates an infection. Okay, it needs to come out, and it wasn't blocked up for days or however long, So, yeah, he did some ultrasound on the, like when you're scanning for a pregnant woman for a baby, they scan your bladder, and you can see the prostate, and it's 3 times as big as it should be. Okay, so he mentioned the figures like 2 centimeters. Okay, so I think it's like 2 centimeters thick. Mine was like 7. So, and then he has to put the old finger test up your butthole, which isn't so bad as it seems. And yeah, basically he said, I got to put a catheter in. So he puts the catheter in, and almost a litre come out straight away. And then he's put it on, and then he tapes it up to your thigh on the front, and then you have to kind of like work it out where it, the tube comes over the top of your boxes, and you have to carry it around like various things. If you sit down, you have to tie it up to something, and having a shower is a pain in the ass, and you have to always look for somewhere where you can hang it. It's like a little doggy carrying it around with you. And so that's the situation. So on Thursday, I went to the laboratory, to get tests, because the way it works here is the doctor gives you a note saying you need this, 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 and this, and then you have to find somebody who can run the tests. So he doesn't get in contact with the hospital or the nurse or whatever. You have to do all the legwork yourself. Miss CDMX did all the legwork. Okay, so she found a laboratory not so far from here. We both went up there. She came along anyway to translate for me. And so I had a bladder scan, so she could see the size of the prostate, and she mentioned like 6 centimeters. So if it's the same dimension that she's talking about, it's come down a little bit, but let's see about that. Scans the kidneys as well. Did a blood test. And good thing about that, the blood results. Okay, so 2005, I went for a Bupa health check, and gives you all the results. Okay, so back then, my bad cholesterol was a little bit too high. Good cholesterol was in limits. The bilirubin, whatever that is, was a little bit high. Last year I had a blood test just out of curiosity. The only thing different was that my triglycerides was high. Did some research into that, and all these things are caused by alcohol, refined sugars, processed foods. Okay, so actually when I was in Malta, so 3 months ago now, I was with my buddy Ryan, and we were out, and it was super hot, and we drank a beer, and we both felt like completely wasted after like half a sip of beer because of the heat and being dehydrated and that. So since then we both stopped drinking alcohol. So that's almost 90 days now, and my triglycerides are back within the normal level. So very happy about that. But so I got all the blood work, and when we got the results on email, and on Monday, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, going back to the urologist to get them assessed professionally instead of us doing a self-diagnosis, and let's see what it is. So I'm on various tablets. Okay, that was one of the things the doctor gave me last week. I've got some naproxenol, paracetamol, obviously for the pain and reducing inflammation. 5 days of that. Got another one, cervixema. This is for the antibiotics. Got 28 days worth of that. And this is another one called tamsulosin. That is actually for the prostate, but it doesn't reduce the size of the prostate. It relaxes the prostate. Okay, so when you take the catheter out, eventually, you can be more normal. And I've got 30 days of that. The doctor and the lady who took my blood, or the lady who did the scanning for on Thursday, she said surgery is probable. And I know that there are two types of surgery. One is where they put something up into your urethra and like scrape the inside of the hole, the hole that goes through the prostate. They scrape it out to make it bigger. Or you can do it with a laser. Laser apparently is a bit less invasive than having it scraped. Okay, so there's lots of lots of unknowns about the whole thing, because you make the hole bigger, which makes you able to pee again, but it doesn't reduce the size of the prostate from, like, size of a grapefruit down to the size of a walnut, which it should be. So there's lots of things I have to still ask about, but surgery, is probably going to be likely, because the lady who did the scanning, obviously she knows what she's talking about as well. Not a doctor, but she's doing the scanning to be able to read the ultrasound. She said, when the prostate is that big, it doesn't come down on its own. So that's what it is. Okay. So I knew about it for 3 years, maybe longer, because it's the first time I can remember was around February, March 2021. I was in Oaxaca, and I have these problems to start peeing. So why didn't I get anything done? It's like, you don't want to believe that that's the problem. You think it's going to be something else. So you imagine being on travels and having to carry around a catheter everywhere you go. It's just impossible, isn't it? And now I'm here in Mexico City. Miss CDMX has been wonderful and looking after me, But imagine that if I was back in London, the problem, I was staying in a hostel. It would have been without a base there, it would have been a whole nightmare of a situation. So I'm very grateful for the timing of everything, and the fact that Miss CDMX is such a wonderful person. So that's the story. So the travels are kind of like, exploring are kind of like on hold for now, till we get this sorted out. And I was going to write a blog post about this, but I couldn't think of the words, and it's a bit long-winded, and but I thought I'd do a rare YouTube video just to share with you. So that's it. So thank you very much. Bye bye.